Welcome to The Abundance Journey, the show that helps spiritual entrepreneurs create an abundance mindset that accelerates revenue. Here's your host, the Abundance Ambassador, Elaine Starling.
Do you sometimes feel like life has just done you wrong? You know, maybe the God of your understanding has gone on vacation and completely forgotten about you. I mean, sometimes really good people can fall through the cracks, facing unbelievable hardship. Situations that are really hard to come through with your head high and your heart open and loving in full partnership with the divine. How can you turn overwhelming resistance into uplifting fuel for love? Well, I was blessed very recently to meet an incredible woman, Judy Henderson. She's the author of When the Light Finds Us. Judy's searing memoir shares her 36-year journey from a wrongful murder conviction to freedom and redemption. Yeah, after spending over 3 decades in the Missouri prison system, Judy finally emerged as one of the nation's most compelling voices for criminal justice reform and women's rights. Judy was able to transform herself into a dedicated activist and a fearless critic of systemic abuse. She's led successful campaigns for legislation that recognizes battered women's syndrome as a legal defense. About time. She also created pioneering programs helping incarcerated mothers maintain bonds with their children, earning broad respect among policymakers, attorneys, and fellow inmates. Judy's work comes from her dedication to living from love instead of fear, and her determination to turn the resistance she faced on all sides for over 36 years into uplifting fuel that ignites her passion. Judy maintains this powerful spirit and demonstrates daily that no matter how broken the system, one courageous voice can ignite change that enriches us all. Judy, I am so honored. I'm so grateful that you could take the time to be with us today.
Thank you, Elaine. It is such an honor and a privilege to be here. I feel so humbled to be able to be on your program, and I thank you so much for having me.
Well, this is a huge topic. I mean, not everybody has to deal with not unlawful, but wrongful arrest and incarceration. Not everybody has to deal with that level of challenge, but certainly you having gone through that and come out the other side stronger, better, more convicted than ever in your own courage, your own self-image, your own willingness to be the best self you can be, not only for you, but also to empower all those around you and all other women who are dealing with a similar challenge. I really commend you for that. That's just, wow.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Elaine. It took me a minute to get here because I'll tell you, I was very, very angry. You know, I had some serious heart-to-heart conversations with God or whoever your higher power might be. But I was very angry. But I come to the conclusion that there's two things you can do with anger. You can either get bitter or you can get better.
Oh, I love that.
And I chose better because who was the anger hurting? It wasn't hurting anybody but myself. You know, everybody else was going about their daily lives and doing their time and even the officers, and nobody cared if I was angry. So, that was wasted energy. And so I made a choice to make myself get better and to find out how all of this even came about. How could I even be in a position like this?
This is such a compelling story, and I'm really eager to just dive right in because I have so many questions for you, Judy, and I can't wait to really get your story in depth. But I want to make sure that we connect our energy. So we're going to do two things to make sure that we connect your energy with mine, with the entire audience, along with the God of your understanding. I usually call this the divine. So there's two things we're going to do. The first thing is we're going to take 3 long, slow, deep breaths together. And as we breathe in through the nose, think the words, I am. And as we breathe out through the mouth, think the word consciousness. And then after those 3 breaths, I'm going to share an intention with you. I'm pointing at my heart deliberately because your intention is kind of like typing into a spiritual GPS. This is where we want to go and how we want to feel along the way, right? And it's kind of letting the God of your understanding know, here's what we want to experience together during this incredible conversation. We don't have a script. We're winging it here. But when you create this intention, and then we're going to hold it in silence for 78 seconds, that gives the God of your understanding, the divine, time to lock into that higher vibration so that we actually experience the intention. Now, 2 tips, because 78 seconds can feel like an eternity when you're holding it. The first thing is pick 2 or 3 words that just feel expansive and uplifting. They feel like that higher vibration. And repeat those 2 or 3 words over and over again to yourself for the entire 78 seconds. And then notice what's happening in your body. You might feel goosebumps or a rush of heat. I sometimes feel ripples of expansion going out. Whatever you feel, whatever sensations you notice in your body, that's just a sign that the divine is locked in and is already starting to move the energy in the direction we want to go. So it's a really good sign. Are we ready to play?
Ready. Can't wait.
Let's breathe together 3 times. Breathe in, I am. Breathe out, consciousness. Breathe in, I am. Breathe out, consciousness. Breathe in, I am. Breathe out, consciousness. In love and light, we hold the intention that we lovingly and courageously receive resistance as fuel, empowered by divine love and guidance to manifest our dreams. Thank you, divine. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is done. We give thanks, and so it is. Wow. My whole body is throbbing, my hands and my feet. I just feel all this energy pouring off them. Wow.
Yes.
What was that like for you?
Yes, I just felt this chill come over me and my like electricity or something going through my body. So it was awesome. I loved doing that exercise.
Yeah, I love what you said before we started, where anger, you could either get bitter or get better, and you made a
Correct.
choice. And I always talk about the superpower of choice.
Yes.
So you are really passionate about the work that you do. You're so passionate about it. You wrote this fabulous book.
Right.
I mean, When the Light
Yes.
Finds Us is a really, really cool book. Why were you so passionate about sharing this story? Why do people need to know this?
Because I feel like there's a lot of people out here in this world that go through really hard, deep, painful things, and they don't know how to get to the other side of it. They think that they need to stay, or that they should stay, or that they just don't know how to get out of it. And there is always, always a way. I feel like that whenever we were created, that we were already given all the tools that we need to succeed in this life. All we need to do is learn how to use those and not keep asking for them, because I feel the more you ask for them, the more trials and tribulations is going to come your way to make those even stronger. And you already have them, so why do you want to go through that again?
Oh, you keep asking, but you never use what you're given.
Right, exactly.
Ooh.
Exactly.
Ooh.
Yes.
Bad news.
Yes. Yes. So I quit that. I used to do that, and I stopped. I thought, oh no, you're not going to trick me. I already have all the powers that I need, all the belief, all the faith, all the courage, all the resilience. I have it there. I just have to tap into it.
So powerful. I love that, Judy. And, it's really interesting. A little bit about me. I was blessed on New Year's Day, 2005, to have a stroke. And during my stroke, I got to have a conversation with our higher power. And I got a complete download about how everything works and why we're alive, how we can live our best life, and what happens next after this life. It's graduation. It's not an ending. And it was really interesting because during this conversation, at one point, the divine said, they asked me a rhetorical question. They said, okay, everything is love. Absolutely everything is love. The computer you're on is love. The chair you're sitting in is love. You are love. The God of your understanding is love. Everything is love. So if everything is love, how do you expand love when everything is already love? I was like, oh, well,
good question.
I don't know. And they said, well, we made human beings who don't think that everything is love. You experience contrast, the difference between what is wanted and what is not wanted. And that friction gives you the superpower of choice. You either step back in fear and try to stay in your comfort zone and justify how you feel, or you step forward with love and grateful curiosity, not knowing what's coming, in open vulnerability. And every time you step forward in love, you expand the divine. You expand God of your understanding. This is the expansion joint of the divine. That's why you've been physical many times in the past. You will be physical many times in the future. You're like a surfer. You love catching the wave. Sometimes they're big, hard, gnarly waves, and they last a long time. And other times they're short and they peter out. Doesn't matter. You're in the water. You get to surf. And that's the fun part. And I loved what you said there, because you had the tools. You had the tools. But how often do we forget to trust those tools?
Exactly. That's it. We don't remember. We don't tap into that because we are so engulfed in our pain and how we feel, our feelings, that we let those overcome us, and we forget we don't have to be victims. We can be victors. And that's what I am. I don't care if I was a battered woman at one time for 12 years. That experience taught me a lot of things. That experience also taught me how to save my life when my co-defendant put a contract out on me in prison. So I have to thank my ex-husband for that. He did teach me how to throw a blow. And I hate to say that, but it was necessary at the moment. It was either do or die.
Man, Judy, I mean, you have lived such a different life than what most of us have had an opportunity to live. And I love asking this question. I ask all my guests the same question. I've never had the same answer twice, and I absolutely love it. And especially given your background and your passion for helping women own who they are, the power that they have inside. Okay, here's my question.
Okay, I'm ready.
Given what you do and your book and what you stand for, how do you define abundance?
I define abundance by all the joy and the peace and the comfort I feel whenever I'm doing what I was created to do. When I found my purpose, that is my abundance. And there isn't a day that goes by that I don't feel that purpose and that abundance moving forward and getting bigger and going in different directions and opening doors that I never thought I could walk through. So that's how I define abundance, Elaine.
I love that because it's unlimited. We can all find our purpose, right?
Yes.
It's something that lights you up inside and it gets you to use those gifts that you were given that you'd forgotten about. You were talking about how you already had those tools, the confidence, the passion, the power, all of that's inside. And another thing that you bring up that's really important to think about that I think we often, all of us forget, we tend to get triggered by the outside world. We are externally referenced. You know, if somebody said that to me, then my feelings get hurt. Instead of being internally resourced, where I choose who I am being in this moment, and I know what I stand for, and how I choose to show my power and my compassion and my higher consciousness, right? And not everybody's going to meet me at that level, but it's about how I treat myself by being who I am, right?
Right. And I have to tell you something, that whenever I was incarcerated, you know, people would say, oh, you're not really this happy. You don't smile all the time like that. And I said, you know what? Don't dislike me. Get like me.
Love that.
Yeah. And it's like, I love who I have become. I'm not saying I was always like this, because I always smiled because I was able to hide a lot of pain and a lot of abuse that I went through for decades. However, the smile and the joy and the happiness and the bubbliness that I feel now is real. My higher power gave me this, and I was able to tap into it and figure out how to use that. And I'll tell you, I even did a vision board, Elaine, and almost everything on my vision board came true.
I love that. And I so believe in that. In fact, I'm going to give you a little top tip here.
Okay.
You don't mind?
Good. I'm
There's
ready.
a good friend of mine. She and her husband do a vision board, but what they do is they use a wall where there's a door in the middle of the wall. And on one side of the door is their vision board. And on the other side of the door are the things that came true that they had on the vision board originally, but this is the manifested side. So every time they're like, dang it, this is taking too long. Why hasn't it manifested yet? They can go to the other side of the door and go, oh yeah, remember how long that one took and it came? Remember and see all this cool stuff that happened? Because we forget how much we manifest and how much we create. And what we create is all about that inner light. I want to hear about when the light finds us, because obviously the light found you.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes, it did. Like I said, I was very bitter and angry, and you know what, I had to figure out how I got in this position, is what I said earlier. And so I had to start with, okay, let's start with the therapy. How did I become a battered woman? It was learned behavior. My mother was a battered woman. It was generational. So I had to break that curse. I had to get that out of my life and claim victory over that. And so once I was able to do that, and I received all the therapy that I needed for adults molested as children, and battered women syndrome, because I didn't even know I was a battered woman. I didn't know what that term was. Right, until Dr. Lenore Walker came and did a workshop with us in the prison, and she has written several books about battered women. And so then I became just engulfed with it. I thought, oh my gosh, there's so many women like this. So many women like me, and they don't know how to get out of that situation or to claim their power, or to get it back, and or to find it if they've never had it. And yeah, I mean, a lot of women don't even know they have it. And so, so I started even battered women's groups called WAVE. And it was so powerful in one of the prisons I was in that even the governor's office came and sent a representative to sit in on some of the workshops that we did. I know, it was awesome. Then, not only that, but they started a women's task force against domestic violence in that state because of this. Because they weren't aware that so many women in prison were abused and battered. And so that was just amazing. I was just so proud and so humbled that they would take the time to come to a prison to listen to offenders.
I love where you're going with this. And it just totally reminded me, the divine just reminded me, I will get divine downloads, and each one in and of itself is amazing. It's really miraculous. And then after a while, I have a few of them. And for some reason, I'll start to think about them, and it almost becomes a connect the dots.
Oh,
and then it pops into this 3D Technicolor thing where I'm like, whoa, that's the real message. And so it sounded like you connected the dots, right?
Mm-hmm.
They didn't see the patterns. They didn't see the problem. And you were able to help them recognize the issue. Do you want to create real change in your life? Well, it all starts with alignments and actions. Each week, I'll send you powerful tools for spiritual alignment. These are practical tips that help you reconnect with the divine and raise your vibration. Plus, you'll get conscious actions. These are spiritually empowered steps that help you take effective, aligned action towards your dreams. Just go to www.theabundancejourney.com/A&A and start turning inspiration into transformation. Are you struggling to create the abundance that you want? Well, you don't have to work harder. You just need to understand how abundance works. I've got a free abundance journey training that reveals 5 simple steps that shift you out of scarcity and into flow, freedom, and fulfillment. You'll learn how to rewire your mindset, embody abundance instantly, and co-create with the divine. So life starts working for you and not against you. You can watch for free right now. Just go to www.theabundancejourney.com/basics. Yeah, just basics, and start living in flow. I love what you said, that you didn't even realize you were a battered woman.
Right.
So what is a symptom? What's a common symptom? I mean, not all of us are battered, and yet we batter ourselves when we don't honor our own power, when we don't acknowledge our power. We are beaten up on us.
Yes.
And we're our harshest critic. I mean, you wouldn't say things to anybody else that you say to yourself in your head.
Correct.
So where do people get stuck in not claiming their power?
I think that they get stuck thinking they can't do it. They can't. What do you mean can't? You do have the power to do it. You have to believe in yourself. You have to know that, okay, you don't like this certain position that you're in. Sometimes, okay, let's take a synopsis of like an analogy of like, you're sitting on your foot and it goes numb. You're not going to keep sitting there and let it continue to stay numb. You're going to get off that dang foot and you're going to get the circulation going again.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's very simplified, but it's doable. I mean, you can just get up and say, enough is enough. I'm going to find that power and I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Yeah. And you have to be determined and resilient.
Judy, I feel compelled to share a story with you because this is right in alignment with what you're talking about. A few months ago, I was in my kitchen doing dishes, and I was just kind of musing over how, sometimes you're working on a project and it comes together easy peasy. It's no big deal. Right. It's a breeze. It's a snap. And other times you're trying to put something together and it is a freaking slog. I mean, it doesn't matter what you do. You hit roadblock, challenge, issue, problem, and it's so frustrating. And I was just kind of wondering, why does this happen? And I immediately felt and heard a very loud, forceful voice in my body that said, when you deny your power is denied to you.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
when you acknowledge your power is shown to you.
Correct.
You are more powerful than you can imagine. And I was like, whoa, dry the hands. I write it down. I'm like, how am I denying my power? And I finally realized it's often the words I use. And like you said, the beliefs we have, because another message I got during my stroke, whatever you believe is true for you, not for anybody else,
Correct.
just for you. So be very
Correct.
careful about what you choose to believe, because
Correct.
those beliefs are either denying your power or acknowledging your power.
Yes. And what I believe is that words do have power. I tell everybody, words have power. Whenever your higher power or God, whatever you call that individual, that entity, spoke the world into existence, it was words, and that's a lot of power. So what you say into and put out into the ethers is going to come back to you. So if you want good, speak good. Speak into the universe what it is you want and let that energy come to you, because you will be amazed. Like I said, the vision board, put pictures out there, put them on a board, say, here's what I want, write it out, and meditate on that and believe it, stand on it, and your power will come to you in so many different ways. But you know what, Elaine, it's kind of like taking a journey, of course, and you can take, like, I live in Kansas City, so here's I-70, here's 435, here's 470. So there are signs to tell you which turn to take, but however, we are so busy with life that we don't pay attention. All day long, you're given signs, and you don't pay attention to those signs. So you stay stuck, and then you lay it at night and say, I wonder why that didn't happen. I really believed it would. But then you got so engulfed in something else, it wasn't even that important, that you missed it. You missed the turn.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, man. I feel compelled to share another story with you, Judy.
Please
Talking
do.
You're off here, but it's so in alignment with what you were saying. It was interesting. I was running some errands. I was driving my husband's truck, and it's a fairly large vehicle, so I'm always super careful when I'm backing up out of a parking place. And I was in the parking lot. I'm trying to back up really slowly, really carefully, looking all around. Out of the corner of my eye, I see somebody flying through the parking lot like they're at the racetrack. And I was thinking, boy, that is not safe. So I'm slowly packing up. And all of a sudden, somebody honked right behind me. I didn't look. I don't know if they were honking at me. I just assumed they were. And I went from happy, joy to pissed off, like in a nanosecond. It was just such a trigger for me. And I'm ranting about what a jerk. And this person wasn't just dropped on their head as an infant. They were dribbled repeatedly. And I'm having fun, getting all full of righteous indignation. And all of a sudden, the divine interrupts me. And they're like, darling, sweetheart, take a breath, just a moment. We keep telling you that every single moment is designed to be a blessing for you. Every single moment is designed to be a blessing for you. You're not making that honk out as if it was a blessing for you. We want you to make up a different story where the honk was actually a blessing. What would that story sound like? And I had to think about it. It didn't come to me immediately, but I thought, well, maybe I was going to hit something. And the person in the other car didn't have time to put their car in park, jump out, run around, knock on my window. Hey, lady, you're going to hit something. Watch out. And not hitting something, that's a really big blessing. It would have cost a lot of money, wasted a lot of time, been really irritating. It's great not to have an accident.
Yes.
And the other thought came to me, they had a different vantage point on where I was in the parking space. And I immediately hit the brakes, and then I cranked on that wheel, and I out of the parking spot, but I got out. So maybe it was more like a thumbs up. You've got this. You're good to go, And again, they didn't have time to put in park, run around, knock on my window. And all of a sudden, the real blessing, the real message came through. Oh, I'm the one who's been blocking my blessings. Because I'm the one who's been making up a story, pretending that this wasn't acknowledging my power, that this wasn't empowering me to be the fullness of who I am.
Correct.
That this wasn't a blessing for me in some way, shape, or form. And sometimes those blessings are really hard to understand, because obviously your situation was really unique and extreme, but you experienced such a profound transformation. What do you feel? Do we have to be willing to shift internally so that we can have that kind of transformation like what you had?
we do have to shift internally, because internally is where all your power is coming from, and your thoughts, which are internal, your actions, which you have to put into motion with your movement. So everything is coming from eternally. However, there is that power on the outside that can move you in a certain direction if you are open to that, if you believe that. And so, I mean, there were so many different avenues in my journey that things were not good. You know, it was like an up and down roller coaster. I mean, in 2000, another governor was going to release me. In October, he was going to release me in November. In October, he and his son died in a plane crash. Who would have thought that? Who would have seen that coming? And so I had to figure out how oh my gosh, how am I going to deal with this? What am I going to do? You know, this is like I've been through 6 governors. Finally, the 7th one is the one that ended up giving me what I needed. But it's hard to get a governor to be willing to, release a lifer that has life without parole for 50 years. And I could have gotten the death penalty with this case and been executed after I'd done 20 years. Instead, I ended up doing 36. And here I am today.
I have to ask you a question, because
sure.
your book, so profound, when the light finds us, something inside you kept you going.
Yes.
Something kept you strong.
Yes.
What was that for you?
It was the love, L-O-V-E, love, here we go with love, of my family and my children. How could I not be strong after all the pain that they had suffered through watching this happen? And they did not deserve that. I had to show them that I was strong enough to endure, that I didn't want them worrying about me. I could do this. And one of the chapters in my book is, I got this. And that became a famous 3-letter sentence, 3-word sentence to me. I've got this. I got this. And so how could I not fight?
Did I lose you? Uh-oh, darn it. You're frozen. Judy, you're frozen. Shoot. Okay. You are frozen. Please leave and sign back in. Can you leave and then sign back in? Okay, there we go. Oops. Okay.
Yeah, you're right. Yes. Okay.
So you were talking a little bit about your book because you have a really powerful chapter. We were talking about how you required something that would nourish you and replenish you and keep you focused and keep you strong through this entire 36-year process.
Correct. And that happened to be the love of family and children, because our love was so strong. I'm the oldest of 8 children, and no one in our family has ever experienced any kind of hardships or any run-ins with the law or the judicial system. This was all new to us, very foreign. So how could I give up whenever my family loved me and supported me? And I just had that, that energy of the love. It was so powerful between all of us. And even during holidays, funerals, weddings, my family would always set a chair empty for me with my picture in it.
Oh,
So I was always
present. You were present energetically when you couldn't be physically.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that gave me what I needed to fuel the courage, the resilience, and the bravery to navigate through this 36 years that I had to do.
Wow.
And, not knowing when it would happen, but I came in prison knowing I would be released.
Yes.
I never allowed anybody to make me believe otherwise. Wardens would tell me I was going to die there. Officers would tell me I was going to die there. Offenders. And I said, no, I'm not. I will not. I am not. I am walking out of here.
Oh, I'm so proud of you for maintaining that mindset, because that's really challenging to do. Now, for those of us who are facing various struggles, we need to get some action going, and we need to get going in the right direction. So what's 1 or 2 little baby steps that we could take that would help us get on the right track?
Okay, to get on the right track, I think the first thing you have to do is acknowledge that there's a problem. You have to see it in order to be able to change it. And so once you do, then you have to know that you have the tools already inside of you to do that. So don't ask for anything else, because other things will come along to help that grow. And it's already grown as much as it needs to be to help you get through whatever situation you're going to get through. And whenever you do not detour from that path. Try to keep your focus, and see the end already. See the end result that you want to have, and then take these steps to get there.
I love it. I love it. This is so powerful and so needed right now. I think a lot of people are struggling and they're lost. They don't know what to do. And knowing that someone like you has been able to face a huge problem, fortunately, most of us won't have to have that kind of an experience,
right?
And yet come through it stronger, better, more gracious, more kind, more loving than ever. I mean, you are such an incredible role model, Judy.
Thank you.
I'm so humbled and honored that you could have this conversation with us today.
Thank you. I'm just so excited to be here and to have this also. And that's one reason I work at the agency I work at now, is I wasn't planning on going to work when I came home, because I was already past retirement. So whenever I went to speak for them and they met with me afterwards, the CEO and the COO and everybody, they said, Judy, you know what? We would really like for you to come to work for us. And I turned around and I said, you know what? I think I'm retired from prison. And so they said, but you have such a spirit, such a light about you, that you are not angry, you're not bitter, and we would like to have that here at our agency, because this is an agency where we give back. We give hands out, but we give hands up, because we want people to learn how to stand on their own 2 feet. We want to give them the skills and the necessary instructions where they can be successful in their life.
Oh, so beautiful. So beautiful. And you very generously offered to give one of the audience a free copy of your book, which is incredible. And I really appreciate that. We always turn the tables on our guests here at the Abundance Journey because we know that when we give is when we truly receive the most.
Correct.
So what is something that we can do to truly support you?
What you all can do, the audience and everybody, is go out there, buy the book, and see what tools are in there for you to use. And that would be a blessing to me to know that I'm telling you something that is going to help enhance your life, to make it better, to get you out of a situation that you may be in, or an upcoming situation that you're not aware is getting ready to happen. So that would be a great blessing and a gift to me.
And I'm going to up that a little bit, and I'm going to encourage you, when you get a copy of the book and you read it, make sure you leave a review on Amazon, because that really makes a difference for authors out there. Thank you, Judy. Thank you so much for joining us today. You've made life a little difficult. I've got pages of notes.
Good.
You gave us so much great insight and information. I'm going to have a tough time picking just one thing to activate abundance around.
Thank you, Elaine. I am so happy to be here. You just kind of helped me say it, to pull it out of me. So you did a tremendous job. You're awesome. I love you.
Oh, thank you so much. All right, everybody, stick around because we're going to activate abundance in just a moment. Abundance isn't something you chase. It's something you activate. Well, in my book, 5 Steps to Activate Your Abundance, I share the exact process that I learned from the divine during my near-death experience, my stroke, so that you can manifest with ease, joy, and confidence. This book is your step-by-step guide that shifts your mindset, helps you overcome fear, and co-create a life you love. And great news, it's available as an ebook, a paperback book, or an audiobook on Amazon. So just go to Amazon and look up 5 Steps to Activate Your Abundance and start living abundantly today. Did you know that 78% of people believe abundance is just about money and that it's always out of reach? Well, that is a poverty mindset. But here's the truth. Abundance is a choice. That's why I named my TEDx talk, Abundance is a Choice. And in that talk, I reveal the secret to shifting out of scarcity and into flow and an abundance mindset. Over 325,000 people have watched so far, and now it's your turn. Just search for Abundance is a Choice on YouTube and start living abundantly. I love Judy. Wow, her energy is so contagious. Step 1 is always gratitude. Whenever you want to create abundance in your life, it always starts with gratitude. Gratitude is the acorn of your abundance tree. Gratitude is the ignition switch to higher consciousness. And there's so much we can be grateful for coming from her amazing conversation today. I wrote down so much stuff, but man, Step 2, acknowledge something you heard that was not hot for you. When I asked her, where do people get stuck? And she said, they don't believe in themselves. Oh, stab me in the heart, baby. Yeah, I see myself in that mirror. That was like, she got me good on that one. Step 3, appreciate the difference it can make in your life. Well, you can tell immediately, am I believing in myself or not? Am I owning my power or am I denying my power, right? Whew, really powerful, because that simple shift can change everything for you. Deciding that you're going to believe in yourself when you do not know how it will show up yet. All you know is a deep inner conviction. It's coming. It's coming. I mean, if Judy didn't give up hope for 36 years, do you think maybe you're willing to lean into it for a while? Yeah. What an incredible role model. I mean, honestly, she rocks my world. Step 4, we're going to activate it. This is where we take a concept, which is believe in yourself, and notice when you do or do not believe in yourself. We're going to turn this into a tangible, physical, real thing so you experience it on an ongoing basis. The first way, there's 3 ways that you can activate it. First way, schedule time to get it done. Well, this is something that's ongoing. I count journaling in this category too, because if you don't schedule time to journal, you're not going to get it done. So it's really important to take the time to journal, because often all these thoughts are going through your head and you don't even know what you're really thinking until you get it down on paper and you can get that objective perspective. You don't even recognize the beliefs and the things that you're saying to yourself and about yourself. And remember how important the words are? Yeah, I could have done a whole thing on words too. And she talked about how powerful words are. You don't even know your own words until you write them down and you can see them in print. And then you know. So take the time to write it down. Take the time for yourself. This is a gift you give you. The second way to activate abundance is to create a physical trigger, like crossing your fingers or tugging on your earlobe as a reminder, I'm going to believe in myself. I'm going to believe in myself in this moment. I'm going to have a challenging conversation, maybe. I don't know where it's going to go. But no matter what happens in this situation, I choose to believe in me. That's really powerful. Bring it into your body with a physical trigger. The third way to activate abundance is to work with what I call an abundance buddy. Most people call them accountability buddies. It's somebody who really knows you and they get you and they understand where you're coming from. And you say, hey, I want to believe in myself. So anytime it sounds like I'm really not believing in myself and I'm not acknowledging my power, I'm accidentally denying my power or giving it away, please point it out to me, because I don't want to go there. I want to be in believing in myself. And it's so helpful to have somebody like that who loves you and understands you and can guide you when you go a little off track, lovingly redirect you back into alignment with who you truly are and who you choose to be. Step 5, celebrate your progress. Isn't this incredible? The blessings that came through today, just amazing. And just see yourself now believing in you. I mean, we connected our energy with Judy's energy, and she believed in herself for 36 years of struggle through 7 different governors. The challenges she faced are way above and beyond what most of us are going to have to deal with. And believe me, if Judy can do it, you can do it. Believe in yourself and love yourself almost as much as I love you. Thank you so much for joining me today for the Abundance Journey. I'll see you next time. I think your journey is worth celebrating. Have you had a breakthrough, a powerful insight, maybe an emotional shift? Well, I want to hear about it. Please share your transformation. You just might be featured on the Abundance Journey show. Tell me what insight has changed things for you. How have you shifted your mindset, your energy, or your perspective? Now, here's a little secret. Maybe you didn't realize this. You can also celebrate in advance. Let us know what you're in the middle of manifesting so we can add our energy to yours. Just go to www.theabundancejourney.com/thank-you to share your story. And I'm going to celebrate your transformation with you.
You've been listening to the Abundance Journey Show with Elaine Starling. Visit theabundancejourney.com/podcast gifts to access today's gift, as well as gifts from our other guests. Tune in every week to activate abundance in your life and business. If something resonated with you, please share it with your friends so they can benefit too. Keep activating abundance, and we'll see you in the next episode.